morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanama and these are the top stories so far. A 14-year-old youngster killed in police firing in Kanchanpur. The district administration plans an indefinite curfew after protests escalate in the region. Provision proposed by the government regarding the right to privacy found different than the one endorsed by the Ministry of Law. US President Donald Trump asked Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to call off a planned trip to North Korea. Trump tweets progress on denuclearizing the Korean peninsula has been insufficient. And Nepal's dismal show at the Jakarta Asian Games continue. National volleyball team loses against South Korea and Chinese Taipei. A 14-year-old boy has been killed during police firing amidst protests in Mahendranagar. The deceased has been identified as Sunny Khuna of Bhimdatta municipality, while Chetan Bhatta was shot at his leg. To control the escalating protests, the district administration has clamped an indefinite curfew in Mahendranagar since 8 p.m. yesterday evening. The police have said they opened fire after demonstrators got violent and tried to set ablaze a police vehicle. 19 people have been injured in the incident who are receiving treatment at a local hospital. The protest escalated as, according to the locals, the police fabricated an innocent person for the rape and murder of 13-year-old Nirmala Pant of Bhimdatta municipality. The Home Ministry had summoned Chief District Officer Kumar Bahadur Khadka, Superintendent of Police Diliraj Bista and Deputy Superintendent of Police Gyan Bahadur Seth to Kathmandu on Thursday following the heating protests in the region. Likewise, the Home Ministry has formed a 5-member committee under the leadership of Joint Secretary Hari Prasad Mainali to probe into the rape and murder of Kanchanpur's Nirmala Pant. The Chief District Officer and Chief of Police have also been changed. And we'll move on to the latest national political updates. It has come into light that the provision proposed by the government pertaining to the right of privacy is different than the one endorsed by the Ministry of Law. The proposal registered by the government and the Parliament allows even the issues related to public interest to be treated under privacy rights. The Ministry of Law had earlier sanctioned a legal draft that called for mandatory revelation of details regarding property and academic qualification of all public office bearers, including the Chief Justice. The bill endorsed by the Cabinet and recently filed at the Parliament, however, includes completely contrary provisions. Even the crucial provisions related to transparency and public accountability are found to have been deliberately removed from the registered bill. The law drafted by the Ministry of Law provisioned no obstruction in revealing the property details of anyone holding a public position. The Cabinet, however, later replaced the provision allowing individuals to prevent the revelation of their property details without their permission. Likewise, no existing act would prevent the disclosure of other personal details, other academic details of public officials as per the previous privacy-related draft. The recently registered bill, however, has limited the jurisdiction of such revelation only for investigative or court's judicial purposes. Such a provision would further challenge the transparency of public position bearers and further devoid the general people of crucial public information and consumer rights. As per the Constitution, the Minister for Law could have prevented the bill that prevents transparency from being registered at the Parliament. The bill that bears potential to infringe on press freedom and right to information has been filed merely due to the irresponsibility exhibited by the Minister. And moving on, agreement on the electricity grid interconnection is to be forged among the member nations in 4th BIMSTEC summit slated to be held in Kathmandu on 30th and 31st of August. The agreement would pave way for the 6-member BIMSTEC nations to export their domestically produced electricity. The agreement will also allow the development of cross-border transmission lines between the BIMSTEC member nations. In the capacity of the organizing nation, Nepal has already sent the summit's agenda and draft the proposed agreements to all the member nations. As a step forward to the area so far been embraced by BIMSTEC, the upcoming summit has also prioritized issues related to road, railway and runway development, along with poverty alleviation and improvement of cross-border trade and investigation. The summit is also preparing to establish BIMSTEC Fund and BIMSTEC Charter in a bid to increase the effectiveness of the sub-regional organizations of South Asian and Southeast Asian nations. The head of nations and the governments of the member nations are slated to arrive in the capital from the 28th of August to take part in the summit. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Thailand's Premier Prayuth Chan-o-cha and Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, however, will arrive only in the morning of 30th of August before the event's inauguration. Preparations are also underway to force bilateral agreements on Raxaul-Kathmandu Railway and bulk cargo during a sideline discussion slated between Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli and Indian Premier Modi. Despite the leader's pledge of assuring the public's efficient and effective access to justice, the newly proposed provisions are likely to further affect the victim's access to court, let alone seeking prosecution. Service seekers would now be compelled to keep away from seeking justice due to the hefty increment in court charges, some of which amounts to even 500 times compared to the previous fees. At a time when there has been widespread criticisms against the arbitrary taxes imposed by local governments, the exorbitant increase in the court charges is likely to evade justice to many while providing leeway to perpetrators to walk scot-free. The increment has been induced by the provisions imposed by the newly introduced Civil Code and Criminal Code. Legal experts have warned that the escalation of the procedural fees would prevent victims from reaching the doors of the judiciary, let alone seeking justice. Yesterday, we had asked the residents of Kapilvastu what problems have they been facing due to irregular power cut hours. In our Public's Voice segment, let's have a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
मुश्किल भइरहेको छ हाम्रो मोबाइलहरु चार्ज पनि मुश्किल भइरहेको छ बालबच्चाहरुको कठिनाइ छ नेपाल सरकारले विद्युत लोड शेडिङ हटेको छ भनेको छ तर यहाँ लोड शेडिङ हटेको छैन
कल कारखानाहरु सञ्चालन गर्न कठिनाइ परेको छ
पानीको असाध्यै बिजुलीले गर्दा पानीको कमी भइरहेको छ
सर्पको बिगबिगी हुन्छ यो बर्खाको समयमा आधारले गर्दाखेरि सर्पहरु आउने नदेखिने हुन्छ
दुःख पाछन् विद्यार्थीहरुले बच्चाहरुले अब हामीहरुले पनि दुःख पाछौं
रात दिन लाइन काटेर चाहिँ हैरानै पारेको छ हाम्रो यो कपिलवस्तुमा रातिको समयमा सर्पको त्यसपछि अब किराकिरीको एकदमै धेरै डर भएको कारणले जनताको लागि चाहिँ धेरै कष्ट भइराखेको छ
स्कुलमा लगायत घर पनि पढ्न धेरै अप्ठ्यारो भएको छ
लोड शेडिङको अन्त्य हो भनेर चाहिँ मिडियामा आउँछन् हैन तर हाम्रो यहाँ कपिलवस्तु जिल्लामा लोड शेडिङ अन्त हैन लोड शेडिङ सुरुवात भयो झन् 24 घण्टा लोड शेडिङ हुन्छ अहिले त यहाँ लाइन आउने जानेको ठेगानै हुँदैन आउने भने जानी बढी हुन्छ
It's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And your question is, why have courts increased service charges unreasonably? Your options are A, to increase revenue, B, effect of other bodies, in fact, and C, timely changes. Voting for that question is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. With that, it's now time for the sports update.
Sports news.
The dismal show by Nepalese athletes at the Jakarta Asian Games has continued. Nepal's volleyball team lost its both matches against South Korea and Chinese Taipei, while none of the Nepalese swimmers were able to go past the heat round. Nepal lost to South Korea in straight sets without much fight. Prior to this, Nepal also lost to Chinese Taipei in straight sets. Likewise, in badminton too, Nepal lost all their matches. Vikas Shrestha lost to Japanese player in the second round, while Ratnajit Tamang lost to player from South Korea. Amita Giri and Rashila Maharjan lost to South Korean duo in the doubles event. In swimming, none of the players could go past the heat round as SAG gold medalist Gaurika Singh finished 7th in the 50-meter freestyle. Another swimmer, Tisha Shakya, finished 8th in the same heat. Shubham Shrestha also crashed out of the 50-meter breaststrokes heat round. Now, Nepal has never clinched the SAF Football Championship, which is contested among South Asian nations. Nepal this time around has intensified preparations with the objective of clinching the title. However, the exit of Nepal's foreign coach is expected to affect the team's preparations. Nepal's national squad has been undergoing training for the SAF Championship for the past 2 months. In the meantime, Nepal's matches at the Jakarta Asian Games was just limited to participation. Nepal's biggest achievement so far has been their entry into the tournament semi-finals. Nepal has set the goal of lifting the championship, but the sacking of Japanese coach Gyotuke Koji is likely to put some degree of pressure on the team. In the absence of Koji, the team is now managed by coach Balgopal Maharjan, who earlier served as an assistant coach. Maharjan, who had earlier proved his credibility at the age group level, now faces the uphill task of proving his caliber at the senior level as well. Players now are gearing up for the SAF Championship to be played in Bangladesh and looking forward to achieve historic success. That's all for the moment. Keep watching Kantipur TV HD for more news and entertainment. Have a great day ahead.